Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you remember in the last video, we put the crank in, and that is very nice, rotates very nice. So the next step, what we're going to do today is take our pistons and put the piston rings on, and then we're going to insert the pistons into this engine block.
Don't adjust that dial, cause it ain't no glitch. Best Mazda content from MazdaMitch. Mazda Minitruck.
Okay, so on these pistons, I've already set up 3 of my pistons. I got the connecting rod bearings in, I got the rings on. And what I want to do, I saved one for you guys. I got my last piston here. We're going to take off the connecting rod bearings. We're going to put on the new connecting rod bearings, and then we're going to put our piston rings on. Okay, so let's take our connecting rod nuts off real quick. Slide off bearing cap. Yeah. Oh boy. There we go. So basically, you can kind of I'm just using a plastic probe tool going into where the tang is. Getting it started. Get it out. Same for this, where that tang is. Just pressing in. Put them to the side. Little brake clean. These are those white shop towels from Harbor Freight that I have, and they are actually pretty good. It does say they're lint free, and I mean, they do seem to be pretty lint free. I'm not saying you won't snag a little bit on some sharp surface and get some fuzz left behind, so you'll just have to keep an eye on that. But we're just going to clean that up best it can be. Just dry it out. Clean that little tang out real good. Same for this one. Just like that. Just nice and dry. And the bearings are pretty, they kind of come pre-lubed. I mean, not really, but you can feel something on it. So I don't want anything, no lube, because you don't want it to spin or anything like that. It doesn't need it. Just putting them in dry. So basically, all we're doing, lining up the tang, just press it in. The good thing about this piece, I mean, you do want to make sure it's in there really good, but on a table, just press it in. It's in there. And don't worry, both sides of the bearing have a hole, just like the crank bearings. But on this doesn't have a hole, so don't worry about that. That's fine. This one, however, does have a hole, an oil hole. And I'm just going to make sure, I got a small brush, and I just want to make sure that it is clean, and it is. So this one here, we're just lining up the tang and pressing it in, pushing it down my fingernails until, you know, it's level with the surface. That's all there is to that. Okay, so with the piston rings, now this might be hard for me to, I don't know, I ain't got quite the best angle for this, so we'll just try. I'm going to start with the bottom, and I will say this: when you do get some rings, they should come with instructions. These are just standard rings. These are Molly rings or cast. They do come with instructions, and I would advise you to look over this if they have any and read it thoroughly and understand what they're saying, because some piston rings have a top wrote on it, but these only have, you can't really see it on camera, but there's a dot. So it's just a dot, and that indicates that they're going to go up top of the piston. Now this first ring, and a lot of times they'll also be in a box, they'll be like it'll say first and second, but the first and second of these they're the same. They're actually the same. Both of them look the same, and they have a little dot, an indentation. Sometimes it'll be written, it'll say top, and that means it goes to the top. So just wanted to go over that briefly with you. So on these, this is your oil ring control, and it doesn't matter how you put it on. Just, you do not want, let's see if I can get it on camera. Let's see here. I'm going to have a hard time with that. But you don't want any overlapping. You want it to butt up against itself. Yeah, this is going to be hard to show you, but basically, you can't get this wrong. Just put it in there, and it goes around. Same for these two little rings on, they're the same up or down. There are no dots. You just put them in. No big deal. So what we're gonna do, so I like to keep up with it, like wherever it met, right there. See where it meets. I'm gonna put that right there on that wrist pin. And I just like to stagger this stuff. So on this one, I'm gonna start right down here below it and just feed it in around the bottom. And put that in there like that. Make sure my main oil control ring is not overlapping. So we got our bottom one in, and then I'm gonna flip my piston over. And I'm gonna do it again. And I'm gonna start right there on the top. Feed it around. And then it's in there like that. Everything is just staggered. And it's gonna be hard to show you, but like right here, my bottom ring, I got that gap there. Gonna flip it around on this side, the top ring, I got my gap there. And then where the wiggly oil control ring meets, I got it right there. Right there. So everything's good. Okay, so now I'm gonna reach in, get my second ring. Now see my little indentation, little dot, so that means it's up. So again, I just like to stagger it. They're gonna move, so it's really not a big deal until you're ready to install it. Yeah, I'm just gonna start it. Make sure the piston ring's on top of the piston, and I'm just gonna run it around. Nothing to that, and they're gonna move around a little bit, so we're only gonna worry about that orientation, which I'll show you a second. We're gonna worry about the orientation right before install. So basically, again, dot at the top, just slide it around. Nothing to it. So when we get ready to install it, I'll probably have one clocked here and another one clocked either just the opposite side of it. They're gonna move eventually, but you're just trying to make sure they're not, you don't want them lined up where the both openings are right there together. So just stagger them when you put it in, and of course they move the entire time that they're in motion in the cylinder when the engine's running. So that's all there is to that. Okay, so we got all our pistons, got the rings on, we got them all laid out here. Got everything that I need, I believe. So what I want to do next is I want to coat my connecting rod bearings with assembly lube, rotate it several times, get it all on there, and then we're going to flip the engine over and we're going to start assembling these pistons. a good start. Okay, let's start with the number 1 piston. Now what I like to do is I like to put some rubber sleeves over these threaded bolts because I don't want it to mar or nick up my crank. And I need to kind of wipe it out and re-oil it. Let's just wipe them all out real quick. Ooh, these are not lint free. No. I was better off with this. You'll definitely want to get a nice lint free. Don't leave any stuff around the bottom of your cylinder. You want it clean. It's probably best to use old t-shirts. Looks pretty clean. Okay. Name of the game is keep everything clean. So this is about to get really dirty and nasty. So we want to soak these rings in oil. Get it all nice and gooey. And want to do your cylinder wall. Ooh, whoa, whoa. Cylinder wall is really good too. I just had some VR1 2050 oil around, so just putting that on there. Yeah, we'll lubricate the piston really good. And I'm going to put a little lubricant on my bearings. I've got this ring compressor tool. So what I want to do is go ahead and clock my rings. Can I have one that way? I'm gonna put one there. It's really not good to, let's see. I'm just gonna counter. I'm gonna have one that way, one this way, one that way, one this way. Okay. So you want to get that on and get it as tight as you can. And the piston has an F on it, which means front of the engine. So be sure and look at that. And we're going to slide it down in there. There we go. Whew. Now we're going to try to bump it down in there. And that's in. Now let's turn this one over. Pull off our, I'm gonna have to get some pliers. Everything's really slick like we want it, but it is hard to get off. Oh yeah. About to knock my teeth out. All right, never enough. So a little more lube. Okay. I see a piece of rubber from that hose. Okay, everything's looking pretty nice. Only thing, let's see. I'm looking for my indentions. All right, I see the one. Yeah, one dot on that side. That's what I had right here. So it goes this way. See some more rubber. Okay. I believe the torque spec for this is 51 foot-pounds. So I'm probably going to do it at 30 and then at 51. All right, I got my torque wrench set at 35. Let's just look at everything real carefully. The piston is in. Everything's good. We got our connecting rod piece on. So okay. So now I'm gonna bump it on up to the end result, which is 51. 51. Doesn't seem like a lot, does it? But that's it. One more again. Yep. Okay. Okay, now that you know how to do one, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest. Okay. Just got that last one in there. And I got this set to 40. Now we're gonna bump it up to 51. That's 50 and 1. Okay. All right, doing a little visual inspection for hairs and things, lint. You know, I've been talking about it and harping about it because it can accumulate, especially when your hands get really greasy and oily. You will really find all the lint. If you get some of these rags, you may want to wash them first. Okay, everything is torqued down and all 4 of them are in. It feels good. Feels nice. Okay, we got our pistons in. Let me just tell you, that is a hard thing to film because it is so nasty. It's just, you got oil everywhere, everything is slippery. It's hard to get good visuals, but I hope it helped you out. So we got all our pistons in. We didn't get any of them mixed up. We got our, our intake and our exhaust correct. Like I said, the piston has a F on it for front, so you want to make sure you put them in with the F going that way. And you can kind of see it. We had to soak the cylinders with oil, soak the piston rings with the oil and everything to get these in there just right. And that is why generally it's going to smoke on startup. It's going to smoke on startup for a little while, because we're going to leave this oil in here. I don't know how long this is going to sit up. So just going to leave it in there. It's going to smoke a little bit on startup, but it'll be okay. Okay, that'll do it for another episode. We got our pistons in, and I've got a mess to clean up. And come back in the next video, and what we'll do, we'll go ahead and put on the water pump, the oil pump. We'll flip it over, and we'll put the oil pan and pickup tube and the oil pan on it. And that'll pretty much wrap up the lower assembly minus the rear seal. I'm going to put that on later when it's off the engine stand. So if you like what we're doing here, give it a big thumbs up. If you're new here, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.